AEW Dynamite is going to overtake Raw in ratings. That shouldn't be news to many people or anyone. And in this video today, Bonafide Heat and I are going to be talking about, when that happens, what that means, the state of just wrestling ratings, just TV, all that kind of stuff. Kevin, when AEW overtakes Raw in ratings, what's going to be your honest reaction?
My honest reaction would be this. I will not care. I will never care about ratings, ever, in my life. It doesn't matter. Ratings don't matter. That's a whole other video topic that we could do one day. But ratings just don't matter in the bottom line, in the grand scheme of things. WWE is still getting paid $1 billion. And in 4 years, when AEW is beating them and Raw has under $1 million, then guess what? NBC is going to give them another $1 billion for another 5 years. So it doesn't matter.
But Kevin, you're telling me come December of 2021, when AEW does Winter is Coming 2, and they get 1.36 million, and Raw does an episode and gets 1.34, you're telling me that's not a big deal? What? Are you kidding me? What?
I mean, no, it's not a big deal. It's not at all. I mean, you're comparing like the impact of what is Dynamite's impact on pop culture, right? It's how big is their impact? It's very minimal. So people are just not going to care in the grand scheme of things.
But you're telling me that all these great talents like the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, you're discrediting their work. You're a hater. You're just an AEW hater, Kevin. That's all you are. How dare you?
I'm a member of the Fed, pal.
Damn it, pal. You're Vince McMahon shill. You're just defending WWE. You're defending garbage, Kevin. How could you?
Like, oh wow, this feels like an interaction on Twitter.
This is legit wrestling Twitter. This will be what we're doing right now is legitimately a replication of wrestling Twitter come the end of this year when AEW Dynamite overtakes Raw in ratings. When you get AEW Dynamite doing Winter is Coming 2 and they get a good rating because they're running Ibushi versus Omega for the New Japan title at Winter is Coming, and then you've got Monday Night Raw featuring Matt Riddle flying birds over a rainforest and The Miz falling over nude. Like, just... Oh, God.
Yeah, that's what AEW is going up against, so they should be beating Raw in the ratings. You have Damian Priest throwing tomatoes at my favorite wrestler, The Miz. That's what you got on Monday Night Raw. The Dynamite should beat that. They're at least trying to be a legitimate wrestling show, right? They're not trying to be a laughingstock, or whatever Raw is trying to be.
Well, Kevin, let's look at this objectively. Now, I've watched a good part of, Raw, Dynamite, all these shows recently. Monday Night Raw is near enough objectively the worst show on television, considering what happens over the course of a 3-hour weekly piece of content. Is that fair?
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking overall television, yeah, I would say.
Yeah, as I said in one of my Raw rants, I'd rather watch TV Shopping Network with some old woman selling me a vacuum cleaner for 3 hours than watch this Raw show. But nonetheless, Raw is on the worst shows on television, objectively. AEW Dynamite. Is AEW Dynamite setting the world ablaze? Are they doing stuff that's like, oh my god, Kevin, just forget, if you're out of the party at, 8 o'clock, oh my god, it's Wednesday, 8 o'clock, Dynamite's on, rush home, leave the party, forget interacting, just rush home and watch Kenny Omega versus God knows who for the title? Is that what Dynamite is? Is it that captivating, Kevin?
No, not at all. And even if it was, let's pretend that AEW hit that level of captivation. I could still go home and watch the YouTube clips, almost immediately after the show is over. So I really don't have to rush home at 8 o'clock to watch it anyway, as it is. It's all over YouTube, all over Twitter, Facebook. So there really is no sense of urgency either way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's part and parcel with just, modern content, the things you need to see, or the most notable bits from a show, from an event, etc., they're going to be all over social media in literally within 10 seconds of it happening on the show. So there isn't really that inherent, oh my god, I need to see this. Now, this winds back to our initial kind of premise and sentiment in this video. When Dynamite is beating Raw in ratings come December of this year, when Monday Night Raw is at literally the all-time low it's ever been, and it's getting 1.32, and Dynamite is usually getting 1.1, and they scrape up to a 1.4 because of Winter is Coming, it's okay, beat Raw in the ratings. And?
Yeah, I mean, what's next? Are we going to get a new Monday Night War? Well, and hypothetically, if AEW moved to Monday nights, because we know the NHL now has a deal with TNT, And let's say AEW Dynamite, they move to Monday Night Live, and they're going head-to-head with Raw. Is WWE going to try any more with Raw? Like, do you foresee that happening? Do you see WWE making riveting content to try to combat AEW?
Well, why should they? Well, like why should WWE, considering how much money they're making, if that happens, why should they try? You know? Because, like, there's no, like, WWE isn't, this isn't 1997 anymore. They're not in the gutter as the opposition company is beating them mercilessly, and WWE is, like, you know, they don't have the financial backing. Like, this is legit 2021 WWE. WWE, like, Vince McMahon probably wakes up every morning in a bath of money. He could not care less. And the fact of the matter is, because Dynamite gets, oh my god, Dynamite got 1.14 million viewers, Raw got 1.77, Mac Daddy's shaking in his boots. Oh, I bet he is. I bet Vince is terrified right now, Kevin. Vince McMahon, the thought of Dynamite, the supposed, allegedly, inside job beating his company in ratings, oh my, you know, like,
yeah, he's sitting on his throne, counting $100 bills. You know, he's hanging out with the Saudi prince on FaceTime. He's talking to the Saudi prince like, "Oh my God, Tony Khan is coming after me, pal." You know, that's what's going on in the McMahon house. You know, he's yelling at Triple H, "Oh, Hunter, damn it, Hunter, we need more, we need better content, Hunter." Like, no, it's not. Vince doesn't care, bro. He doesn't care. And why should he? Like you said, why should he care? If AEW goes to Monday Night and competes with Raw, Vince might be like, "Oh, big deal. That's great. Like, you can beat us in the ratings." Like, maybe there'll be a pride thing. Maybe, you know, Vince will try to make the show a little bit better to try to defeat Dynamite. But how much better is really the case?
Well, but, like, I mean, you look at Raw. I mean, WWE objectively haven't been trying with Raw since they moved to 3 hours. I think that's pretty fair. I mean, you look at what we've got on Raw in the past, literally decade. And it's like, okay, you might say, oh, there was a good month here, like January 2020 was a good month for Raw, or, oh, this was a good angle, like when Brock Lesnar F5'd Michael Cole on the Raw After Mania in 2015. But, like I couldn't say that there's been one good year for Raw. Like, they haven't tried in over a decade. And, like, okay, if the show come beginning of 2022, like, so let's say, Kevin, a year from now, Raw's getting 1.27 million viewers. Okay. I'm sure WWE will have another $2 billion deals by that time, you know? Like, that's just how WWE operates. It's how the business is functioning. Like, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And it's... WWE's become so global, and it's become so effective on social media, where you really don't have to watch the 3-hour shows. Like, I don't even really know who the content is for. I don't know who's out there watching a Raw from 8 to 11 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States. I don't know. I don't know who's doing that. Like, people that are not, you know, that don't write for a journalism company or anything like that. Just regular average people. I don't know who's sitting around watching Raw for 3 hours. There's no need to.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I mean, like, AEW Dynamite is catered towards either the disenfranchised WWE fan, aka the person who's been watching all the indie promotions for years and years, who know everything about everything, and it's made for people who just want to watch any wrestling show that's not WWE. Like, that's who Dynamite's for. WWE, what is it? Like, I've made a video about this, like, what is WWE? It's not sports, it's not, nowadays, I can't call it entertainment with the stuff they're doing. It's not sports entertainment, and if this is sports entertainment, get that away from me. And it's like, all I can deduce WWE RAW as is some weird experiment on the human race. Like, the human race can't be entertained by such garbage, as the right Smarkbuster once said years ago. It's like, just generally speaking, I don't know what Raw is, I don't know who it's catered for, but the fact of the matter is WWE has 77 plus million subscribers on YouTube, AEW is 2 million. Like, if you want to compare those type of numbers, then, I mean, it's one-way traffic. But at the same time...
that's the big thing now. That's the big trend on the internet, is comparing YouTube numbers.
Exactly. Like, Kevin, you tweeted about this the other day. People are that bored that now we're actively comparing YouTube view clips. Like, bruh.
What other community does this happen? Like, I know on NBA Twitter, there's not people going, "Oh, look at LeBron James' clip from last night versus Steph Curry's clip. Oh, Steph Curry's better than LeBron. He drew 100,000 more viewers on YouTube." It's not a thing. Like, when you say it in those terms and you say it out loud, it sounds ridiculous.
Oh my god, Kevin, the highlight clip of the Charlotte Hornets versus the Dallas Mavericks drew 286,000 viewers. The highlight clips for Boston vs LA Lakers only drew 281,000 viewers. Therefore, Luka Doncic is a bigger draw than LeBron James, confirmed, pal. As to steal a phrase from you, what is this, bro? What is this? This is
that's how bad the wrestling is. That's how bad the product is. That people are sitting around going, "Look at Drew McIntyre's match on YouTube. Oh my God, 185,000 views versus Aleister Black's debut, 200,000 views. Like, who cares? Why? Why do you care? What does it matter? Why?" That's how bad the show has gotten. People aren't even watching for the wrestling anymore. They're looking at clips. What's next? They're gonna be comparing Twitter followers next, like that. What?
Well, people already. I got told Finn Balor's a bigger draw than Roman Reigns because he has more Instagram followers, and it's like, bro, what is this, dude? Like, what does wrestling turn into? Like, all these metrics, like ratings, followers, like, it's just a mess. It's like, there's no consistency. Why should we care? And it's a terrible way of viewing. Well, Aleister Black's I'm a Dragon promo on SmackDown drew 284,000 viewers. Nia Jax versus Tamina drew 307,000 viewers. Therefore, WWE hates Aleister Black and people don't want to watch him. It's like what is this, bro? What is this? What is this? What? That's how bad. That's all it is. It's just how bad the wrestling is. That's what it says more than anything. That's the message being communicated to me. Yeah. And that's just the general kind of main sentiment in this video. The state of wrestling in 2021, going into 2022 and on, is one to where even when AEW Dynamite overtakes Raw in viewership in whenever, November, December this year, whenever it happens exactly, that doesn't really matter. When it happens, wonderful. Does it mean anything? No. Is the landscape of wrestling going to dramatically shift because Dynamite Winter is Coming 2 beats a random 3-hour Raw in December when they're building up towards TLC? Is that going to mean anything, Kevin? No. Are people going to be actively comparing views on YouTube clips as though it's like the biggest thing in the world? Oh my God, guys, Ruby Riott versus Natalya drew 287,000 viewers. Oh my God, Drew McIntyre's match drew 1.2 million. Kevin.
The conversation would be different if, say, like, you have a clip draws like if Asuka versus Peyton Royce drew like 10 million views and Charlotte beating up a referee only drew like 200,000. Then there's a conversation there. But like, if you're talking about like 50,000 views or like 20,000 views difference, like, no, you're just reaching at that point. You're grasping at straws.
Yeah, because at that point, it's just the YouTube algorithm. Oh, the YouTube algorithm pushed the Nia Jax versus Tamina match to a few more people, and therefore that explains the 20,000 view discrepancy. There's like nothing to see there. You know, it's just whatever. Basically, to wrap this video up, Dynamite versus Raw. Inevitably, in a few months, when Dynamite overtakes Raw in ratings, it doesn't matter. The wrestling isn't going to have some huge boom because Tony Khan's alleged inside job overtakes the worst show on television for like a week. Like, it's not going to mean anything. So, any closing words, Kevin?
I don't know. All I can say is that whatever happens with ratings, it's not going to make wrestling cool again. The only thing that's going to make wrestling cool again is the in-ring product, and not the ratings that Brian Alvarez tweets about the day after a show.
Wait, so Kevin, you're telling me that when Dynamite overtakes Raw in ratings, there's not going to be droves and droves of people who pissed off from wrestling and went to watch UFC and like MMA? They're not just going to come back because the evil E is being overtaken by the Elite? Is that what you're telling me?
That is exactly what I'm telling you. There's not going to be, 7 million people that haven't watched wrestling in 10 years be like, oh, wow, look at that. AEW Dynamite defeated Raw in the ratings by half a million people. But now I have to go watch AEW now.
And then they'll turn on AEW, they'll see a match where there's like 6 outside interferences, and then the spot where all the guys huddle up at ringside and someone does a suicide flip, and they'll go, bro, what is this? And they'll turn it off. It's just... I don't know, that's been the video. Like, comment, sub, all that kind of crap. Go check out Bonafide Heat. Check out Elite Heat. Let's get to 250, 300 subs, whatever. Like, comment, sub, it's on drill. Peace.